Hi, it's Jen from Shabby Fabrics here to introduce a really special Block of the Month program you don't want to miss out on. This is called Silent Night. This is by Deb Grogan for the Quilt Factory, and she chose Poinsettia Plaza, a Three Sisters collection from Moda Fabrics. And when I saw the quilt, I fell in love with this. I love that the center of this quilt is the church. It's the core of my heart, the core of my life. And I just thought the applique elements, that the community is what is really surrounding this church, and this beautiful scene of this silent night. I just thought it was so endearing. I said, we have to do this. And so we're offering this as a block of the month, a 6-month block of the month, which I love a quilt of this size. There's a lot going on, as you can see. It's nice to be able to break that up into sections. You can see the extensive applique here of just all the details, and of course the silent night. Hopefully you can see that. I'll step out of the way. We'll get a close-up on that. You can imagine if you were trying to buy enough fusible webbing to even trace and cut this out, how extensive it would be. And of course the silent night, the beautiful details on that kind of garland that's arcing over silent night is just so time consuming that we reached out to Deb and said, can we possibly please offer this as prefused laser cut? And she said, absolutely. So Deb, we are so grateful. We want to be able to just jump into this quilt, and with your permission and our amazing lasers, we have done that. So what that means for you, all of this applique that you're seeing will be prefused and laser cut for you. Simply peel off that backing, and now you'll be able to use the layout diagrams that we have compiled here for you that will be shipping with each month's fabric, so that you have full-size layout diagrams. And as you can see, that center block is very large. I have the wafer 3 on the table with me, and that's why I have that here. You could try to manage that with a smaller light box. It'll be a little more challenging, but if you want to be like, nope, I want this as simple as possible, the wafer 3 would be what you'll be looking for. It is a significant investment. I do recognize that. It's a one-time purchase. And we know if we love our applique, you're going to have other reasons to use that for other projects. That process of being able to take your laser shapes and use our layout diagrams is used in combination with the AppliFuse mat. That's what makes the magic happen, and I'll be certainly going through that process in some supporting videos in a Facebook group. You'll be certainly invited to join in on that and tune in if you like some tips and techniques on how to use those things in combination. Some other close-ups. Let's zoom in on some of the blocks here. You've got a beautifully kind of garland added to our Christmas tree. We did that with a sewing machine, but those darling little buttons will be included in your final shipment, and you'll be able to embellish your quilt after, of course, all of its top quilting is complete. So we'll be sure to include those buttons in there as well. Some of the options available to you, you can imagine a quilt like this, you need the perfect backing. We think we found that, and that's also from Poinsettia Plaza, of course, to celebrate the beautiful collection of poinsettias. We chose the cream with the red poinsettias. That's your backing choice. And then for all of that applique, we have a 50-weight sulky cotton thread set with one little added surprise, and that's this gorgeous metallic thread. And that's because we did make one slight change to Deb's original coloring, and we decided to put a gold cross right on top of our church. We'll zoom in on that so you can see that beautiful detail of that applique shape will be in your kit. And now you can stitch it down and make it really accentuate with that gold thread. Most of this quilt, as you can see, is really applique. Of course, you would be piecing a few things together, but in our 4 corners, we do have some piece blocks. That's where the rulers will come into play, with a particular emphasis on that ultimate flying geese tool, which is what we use to create those beautiful flying geese blocks that are just really kind of setting off the core of this quilt, bracketing and bracing the four corners of the quilt, as well as our Creative Grid 6.5-inch square up ruler, which certainly makes cutting the very center of that so easy. And of course, anytime you're putting a block together, be sure to grab those patchwork pins, the fresh blade and the rotary cutter, as you would expect. Want to call your attention to the super nonstick size 80-12. They're really engineered to be going through that fusible webbing. I want to say one more thing about the fusible webbing. We have a very special product coming in. It's from Sulky. It's one of their newest products. It's a fusible that gives an even lighter hand, and I love that. There's a lot of layering happening here. It's a more expensive fusible, but I have decided to make that investment in your kit so that you have a little bit of a lighter. You don't want your block to be so stiff, right? There's a lot of layering happening. So I'm excited this is the first project we've ever offered with the Sulky fusible now being on board and giving us just a little bit of that lighter hand so we don't get so much stiffness with that multiple layering of applique. So this is one that is so very near and dear to my heart. This is going to be hanging in my home, I guarantee you that. Grab your spot, of course, always limited. Get that backing while you can and grab that thread set, and of course any notions that you might need. I will be catching up with you on those supplemental videos. We'll be showing you how to be using these tools as well as the Flying Geese ruler to make those really beautiful four corners that are going to be bracketing all this amazing applique. So thanks for giving me a couple minutes to show you about this beautiful new block of the month from Shabby Fabrics.